Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. Hope you're staying cool wherever you are in the country. I'm so over this heat, I've got to say. I've got an air conditioner that's struggling, and I was just born in the wrong hemisphere anyway, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, just a quick video today as I'm very busy working on something else, and I can't say too much about it yet, except for you should pre-order a copy of the Swordplay Season Guide for 2026. That's all I'm going to say. And you've probably noticed that I've got a new logo now. Huge shout out to DR, he made that for me. And just in general, shout out for all his support. I know he supports a lot of super coaches on YouTube and stuff. He's all about the community, but yeah, his support for me has been huge. He truly is the GOAT. So yeah, to the video. We're sticking with Rucks again. I think it's been about a week since my last video, and that took it out of me because the research that I had to do for that was very time consuming. This is just win versus loss average for the Rucks. No sub or injury games included. And then we just look at the win versus loss average, and we're left with a differential as usual. And yeah, we can try and decide if we think that these players' teams are more likely to win or lose in 2026, and whether that helps our decision to pick them up. So I'll start with Jackson at the top, and it doesn't look great. So I guess the question is Jackson a downhill skier? I don't think he is. It's no secret that he scores far better when he's first ruck without Darcy in the team. So in the time that Darcy was out last year, and I think it was about 8 or 9 games, Jackson was first ruck for I think 6 of them, roughly. And in those games, they won most of them, and he just happened to ruck in some of those big wins against some of the easiest opponents. So he did 186 on Vigo Vicentini, who is literally the easiest ruck to score on, if you remember my last video, and 165 on BJ Williams, who isn't much harder to score on. So I'm not saying he's a flat track bully either with that stuff, because he also did 122 on Wits during that time, which is just about impossible these days. But yeah, there's the explanation anyway. So, you know, Freo can win more games this year, but it's not really going to help Jackson unless Darcy's out of the way anyway. So yeah, more about the matchups in that one. Cherry's next. So he only played in the 5 wins, so there weren't many chances for his average to be brought down, I guess. And he, just like Jackson in the wins, he destroyed some easy matchups. So it's kind of coincidental, I guess. And I guess, you know, these easier ruckmen usually play for weaker teams, so there's something in that. But he went 187 and 150 on Nank in those 2 wins against Richmond, and he did 157 on Flynn, so that's a massive head start on that average there for the wins. So yeah, I think it's the same as Jackson. Like, it's 3 of his 5 matchups were just easy in such a small group of games. I guess it kind of doesn't matter anyway, because that average in his losses, 117.7, is absolutely huge anyway. So, I mean, if Cherry scores you, say, 117 in a game, you're not going to lose too much sleep over it, are you? The question is, does North actually win more games this year? I think they will. What did they win last year? 5 games. So, I can see them going to like 7 or 8 maybe. Be a lot easier to read seeing how they go against Port early on. But yeah, I think they'll improve a little bit. Say what you will about Clarko, but the man won 4 flags, and that's not by accident. So yeah, he'll get them going at some point. The only thing is, even if they do win more games, that small improvement that you maybe see in Cherry's average, it's probably going to be balanced out by the new rules, unfortunately, because it sounds like they don't really favour him hugely. Without going into it too much, it's just a case of less stoppages, and Cherry scores a lot of his points at stoppages. So yeah, I still think he'll be a great pick. He's still in my team as it currently sits, but yeah, beware. I'll skip Shrek because he's not really Supercoach relevant. Next up's Gawn. So what can you even say about Gawn? He's a freak. Only 7 wins for the year, and Yeah, he beat up some easy opponents in those games where they won. So 198 on Flynn, 174 on Nank, and 131 on BJ, who are all pretty easy opponents. Nank surprisingly so, but that's in the previous video. But he did also, he had to have some great games to get Melbourne over the line in those other wins. So he put 153 on Grundy, 119 on Fort, and 112 on Cherry. So I think it's pretty obvious that, you know, these days, he's Melbourne's most important player, and they basically can't win without him up and about. If he's getting beaten, they're screwed. So the proof there, I think, is probably that, you know, Melbourne lost to North when they maybe shouldn't have, and that was when Cherry absolutely towered Gawn in round 2. So yeah, the same thing as Cherry and the others. The average in the losses is, well, yeah, same as only Cherry, I guess. But the average in that loss column there is still insane. So I wouldn't worry too much, regardless of how strong Melbourne are or how many games they win. I think if he's going to score how we want him to, he's going to do it regardless of really how the team goes. TDK is not really relevant anymore with the Marshall 2 ruck setup thing. Briggs, I don't think so. A few are talking about him, but nah. We'll skip to English. So he's another easy one. He did 202 against Briggs in a win against the Giants. I think it was really late in the year. That kind of score is not going to happen very often, and that is definitely the reason for that inflated win average. So if you take that away, he's probably a lot closer to being even. So yeah, that's kind of a good thing, especially when he plays in a team that at the moment are like mid-table. The Dogs no doubt have potential to be better, but something always seems to get in their way. So if they're mid-table again, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you if they win or if they lose. Like, he's going to be good, and the rules opposite to Cherry, like, they're going to favour him by the look of it. I think that's really the only question you should be asking with Cherry, is how much do the new rules actually benefit him. So if you believe they're going to, then I'd lock him in at his price. We've seen before what he can do, so yeah, it's tempting. I've currently got Gawn and Cherry, but English is just about in my team now, I would say. Nank's not relevant anymore. Grundy appears to just be a freak either way. That's pretty close. That's not really statistically relevant, I would say. Witts and Marshall, Meek, O'Brien, not really relevant. Meek, I guess I've seen people picking him, or at least talking about it. But yeah, he's really consistent, win or lose. So, Pittonet, so he obviously does better in losses. I think I'm going to skip him. I'm not going to discuss Pittonet in this video. I think I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive, and then I'm going to give him his own video. There's something about that pick that's drawing me to it. I'm probably being stupid, but yeah, there could be some value there, I reckon. Especially if he's going to solo ruck. I mean, if Reedy's with him, I can't see Reedy doing too much of the ruck. Like, it'll still be probably at least 75% in Pittonet's favour. But yeah, I'll research that and hopefully make a video about him in the future so I can talk about it properly. I'll skip Cameron and leave him till last. And yeah, quickly cover Sweet because people were talking about picking him. He's like English, so that a rare 200 score, and even rarer, obviously, for Sweet, because I think English has actually done it before in previous seasons. But yeah, that 200 came in a loss to the Hawks, and that's obviously skewed his average there, which is a lot easier to do when you've got lower averages like Sweet. Now, let's just, for the sake of the argument, say he actually is this much better in losses than wins. Then there'd probably be an opportunity if you think Port are going to struggle even more this year. And I think they're either going to be about the same or they might slide a little bit, but I can't see them absolutely bottoming out or making the 8 or anything, or I guess the 10 now, as it is, unfortunately. But yeah, the thing with Sweet is he's not even guaranteed his spot anymore. It looks like they've been playing Visentini ahead of him in match sim, and yeah, you can't pick him surely with that kind of doubt. So yeah, after a few of you all, I think, were talking about it early, or at least considering it, I highly doubt that anyone will be looking now. And if you are, then wow, you must know something that we don't. So lastly is Cameron. His best score of 164 last year came in round 0, and that was a loss. But Briggs got injured during that game early, and he absolutely feasted on Lockie Keefe. So that was always going to throw this in the favour of the loss column. But that's only part of the story, I think. So I watched him really closely last year being an owner. I owned him from the very start. And I noticed that he's similar to Gawn in the way he drops behind the ball when Collingwood's not in control of the game. So obviously with more ball going into the back half, and he's a good intercept marker, it gives him more opportunity to just intercept and rack up score. Now we know that you score better in the back half of the field with Supercoach scoring, so keep that in mind. So he's different to all these other players, I think, on this list, because this is the only example here of, I guess, of it being a variable that's not tied to opposition or another player. It's all on him and his own team. So my gut feel is that Collingwood might start to slide this year, and especially if they get a couple of injuries. Just looking at their team, their 22 or 23 is still quite strong, but there's a massive lack of depth and experience in that team. Like, there's a bunch of old guys and kids. There's not much else in between. And I'm not having a go at Collingwood because they've been strong for a long time. And, you know, they could just as easily make top 4 this year, I think. But, yeah, my gut feel is that they'll slide, and it's going to be pretty hard to win as many games as they did last year. So I think this is good for Cameron. I think there'll be more chance for him to intercept and all of that stuff. He's a really good contested mark. And I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a graph or a diagram thing that showed which rucks are good on transition. Now, the new rules, again, without going into it too deep, guys like Xerri, they're not favoured by it because they're not good in transition. But Cameron was one that was really good, I think, from memory. So, yeah, the new rules and a Collingwood slide, it's actually got me thinking about picking him again. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because it did cost me last year, even though he was 4th for overall points. The other 3 at times above him were just insane with their averages at different times. So, yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. I may go back. I can't believe I'm finding myself tempted by this again. I couldn't do it. Surely not. Anyway, I will go away and try and come to my senses. Hopefully you got something at least out of this short video. A lot shorter than what I normally do, but yeah, I am busy with that other stuff, as I mentioned. So be sure to pre-order your copy of Saw Play Season Guide, as I said, and you never know what will pop up in there. And let me know in the comments what you think. I've said many times before, that's my favourite part of doing this, is conversing back and forth with you guys and getting your thoughts. It makes me think, and it makes me go and research different things. So yeah, I'd love to keep it that way. That's about it, I think. So yeah, hopefully you keep beating the heat. It's going to be a rough week coming up, unfortunately. But if you enjoy the heat, lucky you. I'll try and get another video out in the next couple of days. I'm actually off work for a week, which is nice. So I've got no excuses now. But yeah, I should see you in that one. So cheers.